But I want to start with the New Orleans Saints here. There's been a little bit of Saints news over the last 72 hours, and we just haven't gotten to it because there's a lot of LSU baseball to talk about. So I want to get into a little bit of it here with the news that the Saints added a cornerback 3 days ago over the weekend. And it's an interesting story because Jayden Price comes from the FCS and comes from the UFL. The saying goes, like, in the NFL, if you can play, they'll find you. Like, it's easy if you're a 5-star recruit and you go to play at Bama and you're an All-American, like, they'll find you there. But if you're really good, like, they'll find you. And I'm not here telling you that I think Jayden Price is going to be an All-Pro, but he is getting opportunities. He was not drafted in 2024. The Falcons signed him. They released him right before the season started. And he went out and he played great in the UFL for the Arlington Renegades, of course. I know all of you are well-versed in your UFL teams, but played for the Arlington Renegades and had a good year. Started all 10 games. I didn't know it was 10 games either, but it was a spring football. Had 13 passes broken up, which led the UFL. And one thing that I also liked, he led the team with kick returns. So that shows me a guy that's a pretty good athlete, and he had some good ball skills because he got his hands on the ball 13 times. Now, I'm not here to scout Jayden Price or tell you whether or not he's going to make the team, but I do think it is worth talking about the Saints at cornerback because for the last, let's call it 6 years, the Saints have put out really good corners. Lattimore, when healthy, All-Pro type player. Adebo was absolutely a hit in the draft. And you had C.D. Deuce for a minute there, who was a good player. Say what you will about loving his personality or not liking his personality or not liking what he was traded for, whatever. Like, he was a good player. And that was a strength under Dennis Allen. Like, every coach has something to hang his hat on. And while I don't want to reduce Dennis Allen down to just a good evaluator of corners, he's a great defensive coach and defensive mind. But one of the things that he did very well, even as a head coach, was draft, develop, and play DBs, specifically corners. And that's why I still have hopes that Alontae Taylor and Kool-Aid McKinstry are really good players because Dennis Allen handpicked them. Now, he won't be here to develop them moving forward, but he did handpick them, which gives me confidence that they've got real ability. Now, that doesn't say anything about this signing because Dennis Allen didn't have anything to do with it. But I do believe that it is fair to look at the Saints at cornerback right now and go, how much confidence we got here? And I could listen to someone who says a lot. Like, I think these guys are really talented. And I could listen to, like, this is a huge step down from Lattimore and Adebo. We'll see in time. But what can't be argued is that Alontae Taylor and Kool-Aid McKinstry and Price and what they've got on the field entering training camp is very young. It's young and it's cheap. You dealt Lattimore in his big contract. You haven't gone out and signed a big money corner. You've got affordable young assets, and that's the crux of everything I've been talking about with the Saints for the last year and a half. So if they are hits and you can get these guys to the field and they do produce, and I'm not even telling you that Price is going to make the team. He probably, the odds are he won't. He's an undrafted player who was cut by the Falcons and played in the UFL. But I like some of the things that I see on his resume, from the athleticism, the ball skills, the fact that he was picked up quickly after the draft, and the Saints have room there to improve and get better. And I'm all for taking on these young players that have some upside. Like, if you want to go get Asante Samuel on a 1-year deal, like, that's good. That's fine. You got some money to spend. Like, I'm fine with that. He's got a little bit of size, and he's a veteran, and he can help you and help bring these guys along. But for the first time in better than half a decade, you have big questions at corner. And it's one of the things that I'll be watching very, very closely. Like, quarterback's going to steal the show. How the offensive line actually gels is going to steal the show. But I think probably after that, I'm looking at corner. Because, like, the guys you're banking on being on the next good Saints team are on this team. I don't think you're banking on Tyrann Mathieu being on the next good Saints team. I don't think you're banking on Cam Jordan being on the next great Saints team. Same thing probably said for Mario Davis. Certainly Taysom Hill. Maybe even Alvin Kamara. I hope not, but maybe even Alvin Kamara. Probably not Foster Moreau. Like, you've moved on from Ryan Ramczyk and Derek Carr's gone. And, like, I'm looking at players that could be on the next really good Saints team. And at corner, you may have that. And so how those guys play really matters. Really matters. And so I'm fascinated by how that situation gels, and I can't go into it with the confidence I did with Dennis Allen making the calls back there. Like, there are very few things Saints fans are going to be able to step back and go, yeah, he was good at that. Like, very few. I understand the animus, and I understand the feeling on a new regime coming in. But if you're going to denigrate Dennis Allen for his defensive back play, like, that's probably a bridge too far. So now, can you pick up where he left off? Do you have the players and the coaching staff to make that happen? And, like, I'm giving Tyler Shook significant grace period here. And I'm giving Kellen Moore a little bit of grace period here. But, like, cornerback, I'm not really giving much grace. Like, if Alontae Taylor can't go out there this year and play really good football, like, the odds that he plays really good football, like, right after that, it's not very good. Like, you may just have missed on a guy that you were hoping was going to be a potential Pro Bowl corner that you took early in the draft. If Kool-Aid McKinstry goes out there this year in his first year really on the outside making plays as a corner, if he goes out there and is cooked, that's a red flag. But if those guys assume these new roles for the first time full-time this year and you start to see, oh, there's some plays being made, like, you're starting to lay some foundation. Like, what a great possibility that lies between now and Christmas, where you could have a quarterback that's making strides, an offensive line that is completely solidified, and defensive backs that you know are the cornerstones of the outside of your defense moving forward. Like, those three positions, and wide receiver, which I think you're one guy away from. I think you're a number one away from that. But, like, you know what Olave and Shaheed are, and they're pretty young and pretty cheap. But the other three positions I mentioned, like, you could have some real solid foundations for the rest of the team right there. You got work to do on the defensive line. You got work to do, I think, at safety. You got work to do at linebacker. You don't know what you have beyond Kamara at running back. But I think that offensive line, Shook, and corner are spots that I'm looking at for big jumps this year. Quarterback's asking a lot, but you're living on a hope there. And I think that's exciting. But the other two, you would really be disappointed if you didn't get the level of play that you expect at this point in the calendar. So I don't know if Price is going to make the team or not. I just wanted to mention that he joins a young room that's got some talented guys. This guy, when given the opportunity to go play professionally, say what you will about the UFL, I'm not an expert on how great a level of play that is. There have certainly been some guys who come from that level that have helped teams. I'm not asking for the Pro Bowl. I may be asking for a special teamer who can come in and play slot corner, come in and play nickel. They need those defensive backs to step up this year for that defense to get back to getting close to the level they were at under Dennis Allen, and way better than this past year where it was one of the worst defenses in the league. So there's my look at the New Orleans Saints here to crank up our number 2. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.